Patriots fans, this season feels different, doesn't it? There's a buzz in the air, a sense that something special might be brewing in New England once again. You can feel it every Sunday, every drive, every defensive stand. The Patriots are playing with purpose, and that road win over the Tennessee Titans just confirmed what many have started to believe. This team is not just competing, they're building something real. For wins on the road, 0 losses away from home. That's not luck, that's culture. That's discipline. That's Mike Vrabel football. Let's be honest, nobody thought the Patriots would start like this. After the last few seasons of rebuilding, changes, and constant quarterback debates, most people figured New England would just be trying to stay relevant. But instead, here they are, sitting with one of the best records in the conference, taking down teams on the road, and doing it with a young core that's hungry to prove itself. The game against Tennessee wasn't perfect, but it was the kind of gritty statement win that defines a team's identity early in the season. The Titans jumped out to an early lead, but from the second quarter on, it was all Patriots. The defense adjusted beautifully. They clamped down on the run, forced mistakes, and made Tennessee look completely out of rhythm. Holding Derrick Henry and that Titans rushing attack to only 39 total yards? That's no small feat. You could tell the defensive front came in with a point to prove. Christian Gonzalez continues to play like a shutdown corner well beyond his years, completely locking down his side of the field. And when Marcus Jones came up with that huge interception, it felt like the moment everything shifted. From that point on, it was all about control, about imposing their will on both sides of the ball. Then there's Drake May. This kid just keeps checking every box. He's poised, accurate, and playing like someone who's been in the league for a decade. Against Tennessee, he did something no Patriots quarterback had ever done before, completing over 90% of his passes while throwing at least 20 attempts. That's right, 21 completions on 23 attempts. Only 2 misses. That's absurd efficiency. He tied Tom Brady's mark from that legendary 2007 undefeated season for consecutive games with 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a passer rating north of 135. When you start getting mentioned in the same breath as Brady, even statistically, you know you're doing something right. And you could just tell he's not satisfied. After the game, when asked about setting the franchise record for completion percentage, he laughed it off and said, "I left a couple out there." That's the mentality you want from your leader. That's the type of answer that tells you he's locked in. He's not chasing stats, he's chasing wins. And when you have a young quarterback with that mindset, the ceiling gets really high, really fast. But this isn't just about Drake May. This is about Mike Vrabel's culture finally taking root. Remember, the Titans let him go. Since then, Tennessee has gone through multiple coaches, losing their way in the process. Meanwhile, Vrabel is here building something from the ground up, turning the Patriots back into a team nobody wants to face. The locker room believes. The energy is contagious. You can see in the way the players talk about one another, the way they celebrate every defensive stop, every big third down conversion. It's not about flashy plays or personal stats. It's about execution and trust. Look at Ramondre Stevenson, for example. Earlier this season, he had those frustrating fumbles that would have gotten him benched on most teams. But Vrabel didn't give up on him. He showed patience, kept him involved, and it's paying off. Stevenson has embraced that workhorse role again, running hard, protecting the football, and setting the tone physically. Not every coach in the league sticks with a player after those mistakes. But Vrabel knows that if you believe in your guys and show them trust, they'll repay it tenfold. You can see Stevenson running angry now, like he's got something to prove on every snap. And speaking of trust, that's what this coaching staff has built around Drake May. They put together an offensive system that plays to his strengths. Quick reads, smart throws, and enough freedom to improvise when a play breaks down. The chemistry with his receivers is only getting stronger. You can see him spreading the ball around, keeping defenses guessing, and most importantly, staying composed under pressure. His confidence is infectious. When your quarterback looks calm, the whole offense plays calm. Now, not everything is perfect in Foxborough. One storyline that's starting to get some attention is the lack of playing time for rookie running back Trayvon Henderson. Drafted in the second round, a lot of people expected him to be a big part of this offense early. maybe even splitting carries with Stevenson. But so far, that hasn't happened. Against the Titans, he barely saw the field, getting only 2 touches the entire game. Instead, Terrell Jennings stepped in and made the most of his snaps, impressing coaches with his versatility, catching passes, picking up blitzes, and running tough between the tackles. After the game, even Vrabel hinted that Jennings might have earned himself a bigger role moving forward. That doesn't necessarily mean Henderson's time won't come, but it's clear he hasn't fully gained the staff's trust yet. In New England's system, being a reliable pass blocker and understanding protections is crucial, especially with a young quarterback like May. Henderson's talent is undeniable, but he needs to prove he can handle all the little details before he gets consistent snaps. It happens to a lot of young backs. Sometimes you just have to sit back, learn, and wait for your moment. Vrabel's not the type to hand out playing time based on draft status. You earn it, plain and simple. And honestly, that's the message across the entire team right now. Earn everything. Nothing's given. Every snap, every drive, every win is a product of preparation and accountability. You see it in the defense swarming to the ball, in the receivers finishing their routes hard, even when they're not targeted, in the offensive line protecting like their lives depend on it. The Patriots have rediscovered that gritty identity, that sense of toughness that used to define their best years. Drake May's numbers through the first stretch of the season are ridiculous. Over 75% completion, more than 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. He's averaging almost 9 yards per attempt, sitting on a passer rating north of 116, and even adding 200 rushing yards with a couple scores on the ground. Those are MVP-caliber numbers, no question about it. But May isn't the kind of guy who's going to buy into that hype. He knows the road ahead is long. He knows there are tougher opponents coming. The schedule gets harder, and the real tests are yet to come. Still, you can't help but notice the way his teammates talk about him. You've got guys like Kayshon Boutte posting MVP under his photo online. The locker room believes in him, and you can feel that leadership starting to take shape. He's already commanding respect, not just with his play, but with his demeanor. Calm, confident, unshaken. That's rare for a rookie. Now, some might argue the Patriots' success so far has come against weaker competition, teams like the Titans, Panthers, and Browns. And sure, that's part of the story. But the great teams do what they're supposed to do. They beat the teams in front of them. They don't play down to the competition, and that's exactly what the Patriots are doing right now. Taking care of business, winning on the road, building habits that matter when the games get tougher later in the season. The real measure will come when they face top-tier opponents. But even now, the signs are encouraging. This isn't a fluke. It's a team finding its identity, led by a coach who knows exactly what it takes to win, and a young quarterback who's quickly proving he could be the face of the franchise. Every week, they look sharper, more confident, more connected. The energy around this group is completely different from what we've seen the last few years. For the first time in a long time, the Patriots don't just look competitive, they look dangerous. They look like a team nobody's going to want to face in December when the games start to really matter. And if Drake May keeps playing at this level, if that defense keeps smothering opponents the way they did in Tennessee, and if the offensive line continues to protect like they have, this could turn into something really special. It's still early, but one thing's clear. The Patriots are back to playing meaningful football, and that alone is something fans have been waiting years to say again. As we look deeper into what's fueling this Patriots resurgence, it all comes back to one word: foundation. Mike Vrabel isn't just coaching football games, he's rebuilding a culture from the inside out. You can see it in the way players talk about accountability, the way the coaching staff pushes for details, and the way every person in that building seems to have completely bought into the same goal. This is no longer a team trying to live off the past. This is a team carving its own identity, and it's starting to show up on the field every single week. One of the biggest differences from last season is how this team responds to adversity. In the past, if they fell behind early, it often felt like a mountain they couldn't climb. But now, you see a confidence that hasn't been there in years. When Tennessee scored those 13 quick points, there wasn't panic on the sideline. There wasn't finger-pointing. You saw leaders like Matthew Judon rallying the defense, Drake May talking calmly with his receivers, and Vrabel pacing the sideline with that intense but composed look he's known for. That composure trickles down, and you can feel it in the way they play. The Patriots' defense deserves a lot of credit for this transformation. It's not the flashiest group in the league, but it might be one of the most disciplined. They tackle well, they communicate, and they swarm. That front seven has been a nightmare for opposing offenses. The run defense especially has become a calling card again. Shutting down Tennessee to just 39 yards rushing isn't a random stat. It's a reflection of a system working perfectly. The interior line collapses running lanes, the linebackers fill gaps instantly, and the secondary supports with aggression and intelligence. You don't see missed assignments. You don't see confusion. You see unity. Christian Gonzalez continues to evolve into a legitimate lockdown corner. Every week, he's matching up against top receivers and making it look easy. What's scary is how calm he plays. He doesn't overcommit, doesn't panic, and always seems to know where the ball is going. That combination of awareness and athleticism is rare. It's becoming clear the Patriots may have found their next true defensive cornerstone in Gonzalez. Alongside him, Marcus Jones has been a spark plug, constantly around the football, and that interception in the Titans game couldn't have come at a better time. It flipped the energy, set up a score, and reminded everyone that turnovers still define football games. On offense, the development of Drake May continues to be the headline story. What's so striking is his control. Even when protection breaks down, even when the defense disguises coverages, he doesn't flinch. He's already learned how to extend plays without panicking, how to read defenses on the fly, and how to trust his timing. That 91% completion game wasn't just about short passes or easy reads. It was about precision and decision-making. He's throwing guys open, hitting tight windows, and keeping the offense in rhythm. Every drive feels organized, and every possession feels like it has a plan. That's a huge shift from what fans have seen in recent years. You can also tell how much confidence the rest of the offense has in him. The linemen block with purpose because they know he'll make something happen behind them. The receivers finish routes and fight for extra yards because they know the ball's coming on time. Even the running backs, led by Stevenson, are feeding off his energy. Stevenson looks reborn, cutting sharper, running harder, and embracing contact. You can sense that he's playing with something to prove. And maybe that's what happens when you're part of a system that doesn't give up on you. Still, one of the intriguing questions surrounding this team is what's going on with Trayvon Henderson. Fans were excited about his potential, and with his athleticism and college resume, many assumed he'd immediately become part of the offensive rotation. But for now, it's clear he's being brought along slowly. 2 touches in the Titans game tell you exactly where he stands on the depth chart. It's not about talent. It's about trust. This coaching staff wants to see consistency, especially in pass protection. When you have a rookie quarterback, protecting him becomes the top priority. If you can't pick up a blitz or recognize a defensive shift, you won't stay on the field. Henderson's time will come, but he'll need to earn it the hard way. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Foxborough is buzzing with whispers after a fiery remark from Patriots wide receiver KENDRICK BOURNE. Sources close to the team claim the veteran, known for his reliable hands and clutch plays, has grown increasingly frustrated with his role, or perceived lack thereof, within New England's offense. "I don't feel valued here," Bourne reportedly told teammates in a private meeting that has since leaked into the media, igniting speculation about his future with the franchise. The tension in the locker room is palpable, insiders say. Bourne's comments have added fuel to ongoing debates among Patriots fans about whether head coach Bill Belichick is fully utilizing the wide receiver core, particularly in key passing situations. The remarks come after a season in which Bourne contributed quietly but consistently, often making critical catches that don't always show up in highlight reels. His dissatisfaction seems rooted not just in playing time, but in the recognition and trust he feels he's been denied. Adding to the intrigue, teammates have reportedly had mixed reactions. Some sympathize with Bourne, acknowledging that the offense sometimes overlooks secondary weapons in favor of high-profile targets. Others are wary of the disruption that public grievances can cause, especially in a locker room famously disciplined under Belichick's leadership. Rumors are already swirling. Could a mid-season trade or off-season move be on the horizon if the situation doesn't improve? Media analysts have quickly jumped on the story, noting that player unrest in Foxborough has historically led to shifts in team dynamics. Bourne's comments, while brief, may have a ripple effect, forcing coaches to rethink schemes or personnel decisions. The Patriots organization, tight-lipped as always, has yet to issue an official statement, but fans are watching closely for any hint of action. Social media, as expected, is ablaze with speculation, with hashtags, trending, and debates about Bourne's future dominating fan forums. For now, the story is part rumor, part brewing storm, a classic Patriots subplot that could change the trajectory of not just one player's career, but potentially the team's offensive strategy in the months to come. One thing is certain. In Foxborough, nothing stays quiet for long, and Bourne's candid expression of frustration has ensured he is at the center of the conversation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.